going to call this one A up here, and we'll call this one B down here. List of names. Now, we're going to put together a list of names of who? Dissatisfied people. Now, you're not going to think, well, let me give you some categories here. Let's break this list up into categories, because I want all of you, if you're going to be developing up an organization, you're going to need a list to go from. If you're going to be developing up customers, you're going to need a list to go from. Okay? Here's the list. How about friends? Okay? Make a list of the friends that you have that you feel might be dissatisfied with one of these areas. The issue here is not if they want to become part of Herbalife. The issue here is not if they'd like to be a supervisor or consultant. The issue here is not if they'd like to be involved in the nutritional industry. That's not the issue. What's the issue? If they're dissatisfied, they go on the list. That's the issue. You say, well, I don't think they're going to want to do it because they don't have any time. That's not the issue here, right? The issue is if you feel like you're dissatisfied, they go on the list. Now, let's put another one down here. How about relatives? Okay, how many relatives do you have that you feel might be dissatisfied with one or more areas of their life? Put them down. How about neighbors? How about coworkers? How about clubs, organizations? How about your church group? You know, how about old high school or college? How about fraternities? How about anything? You know, just start to think here. If you think you're going to be here and go over here, if you think you're going to go from $800 a month to $9,000 plus a month, okay, if you think that's going to happen here, then, and if it's going to happen just like right now without some work and effort, that's not going to take place. We've got the products and we got the marketing, and we'll teach you a few things that you need to go to work on, but you're going to have to take the responsibility for your financial future. You got to take the responsibility for where you are, and you got to take the responsibility for where you aren't. You understand? And you got to accept both of those cases before you can move forward. Okay? Friends, relatives, neighbors, coworkers. Now let me share something with you about this one here. I had people say, I don't want to recruit my friends. Or I don't want to sell to my friends. I feel funny making money off my friends. How many of you have ever heard that statement? Right? I've heard it. Heard it a lot. I used to say, okay, then let's go this direction over here, because I didn't understand it. But now that I understand it, I got to make a point here. They can do what they want to, but they need to understand what the issue is. Let's say that you ladies had a dress shop, and one of your friends came in to visit you. You hadn't seen her for a while. She come in, you're all excited, and you're talking and catching up, and all the little gossip and everything's going on, getting everybody caught up again. And then she says, I got to buy a dress here. That's the real reason I came in here. And she goes over here, and on the hanger, she sees the perfect dress for her. Right color, right cut, right collar, everything is right. She tries it on. It takes 5 years off her age. She looks at the price tag. She can't believe it. She says, I'll take it. And you, as the owner of the shop, say, listen, Mary, I wish that you'd go down the street and buy it at Bullock's. And she said, I'm confused. Why would I go down there and buy it? Is it less down there? She said, no, matter of fact, it probably costs a little more down there than here. I said, well, why am I going down there? I said, I feel real funny, Mary, making money off my friends. Now, if she has that dress shop, and if she's invested her time and energy and money into that dress shop, is she entitled to make a profit off of anybody that walks in there that wants those goods? Answer is yes. The only way you're entitled to make a profit is if you provide goods or services. And then it's immoral if you provide goods or services and don't make a profit from it. And I'll tell you who expects you to make a profit on it. Everybody who walks in your dress shop expects you to. You're entitled to make a profit here. You need to get your thinking straight here. You've got the finest quality products in the world to share with people. The finest quality products. And if you're hesitant to share them with your friends and relatives and neighbors and co-workers, then you need to evaluate you, not the products and the opportunity. You need to evaluate your thinking. See? Get the issue here where it belongs. If you're hesitant to talk to friends, relatives, neighbors, and co-workers about the opportunity, then you need to face the real issue here. You need to take a look at your thinking here and get it straight. Now, it's not important. If you still feel like that after you do it, then do it any way you can. You understand? If you still, I still don't want to talk, then go talk, go put flyers out, run ads, do anything, talk to strangers on the street, knock people down, do anything you got to do, right? But you need to think about this one here, okay? So you get your list made. Does this make sense to you here? Get a list put together for 100 people. Say, I don't know 100 people. Of course you know 100 people. If you divide it into categories, you can't come up with 10 people. If you think, well, I don't want to put John down because he doesn't have the experience for this. And, no, I don't want to put Uncle Joe. No, not him. He didn't have the time for this deal at all, right? You see what I mean? If you start doing that, you can't come up with 10 names. Your job here is not to think if it would be for them. Your job is not to think if they'd like it. Your job is not to think if they wouldn't like it. Your job is, if you think you're dissatisfied, here, remember 2 parts? If I need someone to talk to, what's the second part? Talking to them. Your job is to talk to them. If they don't want, if they ain't got the time, that's up to them. They don't want to come down, that's up to them. Okay? See what I'm saying? Okay, now, we've got who to look for, dissatisfied people. We put them in a list of names now. The next thing we've got to do is we've got to, before we talk to anybody, is we've got to get our attitude straight. We're going to call this C. Get your attitude straight. There's 3 areas to your attitude that you need to go to work on before you talk to anybody. And we all go through periods of time, me included, when you go to talk to somebody and your attitude is not quite the way you'd like it to be, right? You're just not quite as positive, you're not quite this, you're not quite that. Answer is, don't talk to them until you get your attitude straight. That's all. They're simple. Don't go out there and deliberately set yourself up for a fall. Don't do that deal. Don't go out there deliberately say, there's no need me calling him. He's not going to want to do it. You're right. Save a phone call, right? Because we communicate with feelings. We don't communicate with words. How many are afraid of dogs? We got a lot of liars in here. I know there's more people afraid of dogs in here than this, okay? But I used to be afraid of dogs. I really did. I am not afraid of dogs anymore. And I'll tell you, I got it down coming to a few training classes. That's true. Because animals communicate with feelings, not with words. If those of you, I want you to picture this. I want you to picture a house that's set back off the street a little bit with a little picket fence about this high with a long sidewalk like the old houses used to have, right? Like where you walk right up that little sidewalk and there's the front door. You got to go in there. But on the gate, the sign says, beware of vicious dog. It doesn't say beware of dog. It doesn't say beware of bad dog. It says vicious dog. And, that's a whole different deal there. Makes you look at that twice. But you've got to go up. And you say, okay, and as soon as you get there, the dog runs up, and he's giving you his teeth and his snarls and his garls. He's doing all that stuff. You say, I got to go. I'm not afraid of you, doggo. What a nice, pretty dog you are. And you start to go in there, and you're afraid of him. What's going to happen? It's going to get you, right? That's what's going to happen. But as soon as you smoke it back outside the fence, here comes this little 4-year-old girl. She's never seen that dog before at all. And she decides she's going to walk up that same sidewalk you do. And as she walks up there, the dog licks her heels all the way up. Same vicious dog. How come? Because the dog can feel it. Right? And it can't be. So can people. Have you ever talked to someone where no matter what they said, you just sensed that they were lying to you? Right? That's communicating with feelings. Right? If you sense something's not right, regardless of maybe it's not even lying. Right? Maybe you just sense something's not quite right because we communicate with feelings. That's the same thing when you go to talk to people about your Herbalife products, your Herbalife opportunity. You need to get your thinking straight first, or they're going to pick it up. They're going to pick it up. I had a lady come to me once and said, I need some help. And I said, I'll do anything I can to help you. She said, I can't get anybody at all to look at this opportunity. And I said, you're absolutely right. I said, what else can I help you with? And she said, oh, you didn't understand. I can't get any, I don't get anybody to look. I talked to this person, blah, 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 and she went on and gave me the whole list of how many people talked to you that day, 27, and da-da-da, and all this. And she said, and I can't get anybody to look. And I said, I agree with you. I said, is there anything else I can help you with? She says, are you making fun of me? And I said, I'm not making fun of you at all. I said, you just told me you couldn't get them to look. I said, we don't have anything else to discuss about that. You're right. You can't get them to look at all. I said, can I help you with another project? Right? Because as long as she's thinking that way, what is she doing when she picks up the phone? She's communicating it to them because just like the dog, right? She's going to show her the products that I don't think they're going to want to buy. They're not going to want to buy. She's right. Right? She's right. This thing is not fallible. I'm not telling you anything here that you don't already know. There's going to be very little stuff that I'm going to share with you today that you don't already know. It might give it another viewpoint, but it's going to be very little that you don't already know. Here's the attitude you've got to have before you talk to anyone about the Herbalife opportunity. You need the gold mine attitude. That's what you need, the gold mine attitude. And I'm going to share a story with you here, and I want you to kind of go with me on this story. And I want you to get into this story. If I talk to you about the wind blowing, I want you to feel the wind blowing in your face here, okay? I'll tell you a perfect time for this story, a Sunday morning. That's the best. Sunday mornings are different. You ever notice that Sundays have a different feeling than Mondays and Saturdays and Fridays? Sundays are different. Every day of the week has a different. You can tell. If you didn't know, you could almost tell what day of the week it was by just seeing a few people and watching and stuff. Sundays are special. And I want you to think about perhaps waking up real early. I know we've all experienced this sometime, even if we don't like to wake up early. But I want you to think about waking up real early in the morning. Maybe 5:30. For some reason, you have no idea you can't believe you're awake, and you look at your clock, and it's 5:30. You can't believe this for a minute, right? But you feel so alive, so alert. Instantly, you're on just like that, and you can't believe it. The sun is shining outside. You can see it. And you get dressed, and you go out there, and you start to make yourself some orange juice or something. You can't. Everybody in the house is asleep, and you're real quiet, and you're kind of glad you're asleep because you're enjoying this so much. You decide to walk outside. And there's just that slight chill in the air, but it's going to be warm, and you can tell it. Birds are chirping, right? You can hear them. There's hardly any traffic. It's one of the clearest days that you've seen in a long, long time. And you're just enjoying it. And you decide that, heck, I'm going to go for a drive. I'm going to head up in the mountains. And you get in your car, and you start driving up in the mountains. And you got your window your arm out the window. And wind's blowing in, it just feels so refreshing. You get out to the foothills, driving around, and finally, all of a sudden, you start driving on one of your favorite roads. Just a few houses on it, driving around. And you look up, and there's a road off to the right that you've seen before, and you've thought about before, but today, you're going to see where that road goes. And you start driving up this road, and every now and then, you can start catching a glimpse of the valley down here. And then the road comes up here, and you can see that there hasn't been anybody driven up here in years because there's all grass over the road. And you get up on a little flat plateau there, and you park your car, and you lean against your car, and you're looking at one of the most magnificent views that you've ever seen in your life. And you can't believe that something this beautiful exists. As you're standing there, enjoying it all, you look over here to the right. There's something over here that's different. You're not quite sure what it is, but you decide to go investigate. And the closer you get to it, the more intriguing it becomes. And if you get a few feet away, your suspicions are confirmed here. It looks like it's the mouth of a cave that's been covered up with brush. So you start quickly pulling all the brush off, and you get it all, and it's a big cave. And it kind of goes for like 10 feet and then turns to the right just a little bit. And the sun is shining right in on it. And it looks like it's a safe cave, so you decide to venture in. You're real nervous. And you start walking in, and you have no idea what's to the right. And as soon as you get there and you look to the right, what do you think you see? Gold coins. From floor to ceiling, wall to wall. Gold coins. No telling how long they've been there. After you bite one to make sure it's real, next thing I do is look over my shoulder, make sure no one's following me, right? Then I'm going to get my car as close as I can. I guarantee you, when I go home, it's going to be so loaded. If it was dark, the headlights would be in the trees, right? That baby's going to be loaded. Now you get back, and you get back home, right? Now your wife is awake, and she says, "Where have you been? It's 10:30. I've been worried to death about you." He says, "Open the garage door quick." Right? She gets the garage door open, and you pull the car, and she said, "Where'd you get this?" He said, "I don't have time. Help me unload it." And she certainly does. Okay? loads that baby into the basement, and you says, I'll be back. And this time you go get a pickup truck and a U-Haul trailer. You're going to need a shovel, right? And you stop by the local hardware store. You don't even go down to Pick and Save to get it at 40% off. No. You go to the local hardware store, pay full retail, right? You shovel. You get out there and you load that baby up, and you can't even believe your good fortune. You go and unload that one. You come back for a third load. But when you come back for your third load, something's not quite right. You're not sure what it is. So when you leave, you take a stick and you just put a mark on the ground. And when you come back for your fourth load, you've got the answer. What you were thinking all along is true. There's more gold now than when you started. You discover every coin you take out, 2 coins comes in its place. And the first thing you do is get very excited. The second thing you do is realize you've got to have some help, right? Or it's going to be out the mouth of the cave and the whole world's going to know about it. So you've got to get some help. So who's the first person you want to help you? Are you going to run an ad? Are you going to go to the local unemployment office? Are you going to run some flyers at the shopping center? You know? What are you going to do? Well, I'll tell you what I want to do. I want to get my brother Johnny, right? Got to go over and get him. He's got to help me load this gold up, right? Now I go over to him, and he's watching the Super Bowl, right? So last minute and a half of the first half, right? It's tied, they're going for the score, and I'm going to sit there and I'm going to wait for it to get over? Or am I going to turn the television off and say, listen to this? Right? What's more important, right? See? That's the gold mine attitude. I don't know if there's a gold mine like that exists in this country. But I'll tell you what, I would not trade. I would not trade what I've got in Herbalife for a gold mine like that. I wouldn't do it. See, that's what Herbalife's got the vault door open. Isn't it? And we're saying, come and take all the gold you want. You can take it all. Everything you want. Come on in. You need some help? Get some helpers. You can come and get it. Need some more? Get some more helpers. Have them get a couple. Come and get all you want. Just don't push, don't shove, and don't be greedy. And the more gold that we take out, the more gold there is for everybody. There's more gold in the Herbalife cave now than there was a year ago. And the more people that come to the cave and take out the gold, the more gold there is for everybody else. Now that's the attitude you need when you share this opportunity with people. You need the gold mine attitude. Okay? Now, here's the second thing you need to do. You need to get excited and enthusiastic. And if you've got a gold mine, you have no problem getting excited and enthusiastic. None whatsoever. And I'll tell you what, if you went over to your brother Johnny's house and he said, come with me and dig the gold, no, I want to finish the game. You would say, oh, please, oh, please, oh, please. Oh, no, nobody wants to help me dig the gold. I'm going to go back home. Nobody wants to help. You know, you'll call up your wife and say, nobody wants to go with me. This is not for me. You know, I got to dig all this gold by myself. How many people am I going to talk to? It doesn't work like that deal. Right? You go tell her that, you know what she's going to tell you. Hit it, right? Get somebody now, right? Or you stay here, I'll go get the gold. I know what she'd say to you. So you got to be excited and enthusiastic about this whole thing. Now I'm talking about genuine excitement. I'm not talking about phony excitement. I'm talking about real, sincere excitement is what you've got to have. You know, you can come to one of these meetings and you get excited. You go to one of our meetings at any of our offices, and it's hard to even talk to a customer and not get excited. People can get you excited real easy about this. Things can get you excited, right? But I'm talking about real, sincere, deep excitement that comes from within. And the only way I know to get that is with the facts. That's the only way I know to get it. If you've been out to that gold mine, if you've seen it, and you've bitten into it, and you've seen that every coin you take out, 2 more comes back in, and someone says, I'm not going to go with you, you're not going to feel bad at all. You know better. That's the same thing here. People are going to, this phrase is rain on your parade, you bet your life they are. People are going to tell you they're crazy, you're crazy. People say, oh no, another one of those deals, right? Oh no. They're going to pull that deal on you. Makes no difference what they do, it makes a difference what you do. I'm telling you right now, you can go out there. And you can talk to people. And the most important thing that I can share with you today, the most important thing that I can share with you today is it makes no difference of the people you talk to if they buy your story. What makes a difference is if you buy their story. They're going to dump on you. They're going to tell you how bad your products are. They're going to tell you how bad your opportunity. They're going to tell you how foolish you are. They're entitled to say what they want to. You're entitled to believe what you want to. Well, the greatest stories of all, the greatest teacher of all, some 2,000 years ago, had to develop up his organization, right? He had his, not top 10, but his 12, that he spent 3 years training and teaching. And finally the time came, and you know what the story is. The time came for him to send them out into the cities. And they were going to go out in the cities 2 by 2. Remember the story? And they were all excited. They were jazzed up. They were excited. They're going to go out and they were going to tell this story to everybody. They were going to convert the whole world over to their story. The greatest teacher of all saw that there was something there, and he said, before you go, fellas, there's one thing I need to share with you. When you go out into those cities, every home is not going to be of your accord. And when you leave the home, shake every grain of sand from your shoes. Now, I thought about that one for a long time. What does that mean? Shake every grain of sand from your shoes. And I think I understand it. If you have a grain of sand in your shoe, one grain of sand won't necessarily hurt you unless it stays there over a prolonged period of time, and it will start a little irritation. Matter of fact, you can probably leave one grain of sand in your shoe for some time and never shake it out. But if you've got 2 grains of sand in your shoe, now it's a little bit uncomfortable and you need it to give it some attention. And if you leave it there, it becomes increasingly more of a hindrance. And if you get 3 grains of sand in your shoe and you don't do anything about it, the next thing you know, you have a blister. And if you don't pay any attention to it then, the next thing you know, it's infected. The next thing you know, you have to have your foot amputated and it could kill you. Is that the truth? From 1 grain of sand. Remember, it was important enough for him to mention just before they left. And you know what that means to me? When you go out there, every home's not going to be of your accord. They're not. And what that means is it makes no difference if they buy your story. What makes a difference is when you leave them that you don't buy any part of their story. And the reason you're not going to do that is because you've got the facts. You got the facts. And you got the facts. And so your excitement and your enthusiasm is genuine. Genuine excitement, genuine enthusiasm. Don't let anybody sell you their bill of goods at all. If you do, you deserve what you get. Period, over and out. You deserve it. See, remember this one here. If it's not sincere, it'll get you. You can come to meetings, I said earlier, and you can get excited. You can. You can do it. You can read a book and get excited. You can listen to a tape and get excited. If there's one book that you can read in Los Angeles, I'm telling you, there's 1,000 books you can read in Los Angeles that teach you how to be more excited and more enthusiastic. If there's one course you can take from $25 to $2,500, there's got to be 100 courses you can take that will teach you how to be more excited and more enthusiastic. Right? They teach you things, you would believe it because you've gone through them too. They teach you things like this. When you wake up in the morning, one of the first things you want to do is you want to yell as loud as you can, beat yourself on the chest, and run to the bathroom. They claim you got to go anyway, so you might as well run. Right? Heck, I tried that. I got it. I felt foolish. I didn't have to go. You know? There's others that teach you that if you feel a little introverted and you need some excitement, to wear red underwear. That's right. They say if you need to, just wear red underwear. They say it's the same concept as tying a string around your finger here. So if you need to get yourself punched up, just pull those babies out and look at them. Right? Say, oh yeah, more excitement, more enthusiasm. I tried that. That doesn't work either. You want to get excited, enthusiastic, don't wear any underwear. Now that'll get the adrenaline flowing right now. Okay? Look at this here. You know what this is here? Up and down, up and down. You know what that is? That's a new distributor's psyche. That's what it is. New distributor psyche. Up and down. Let me tell you what happens to a new person when they come and look at our business. They get real excited when someone invites them down to see the opportunity, right? And they come down here, they kind of get real excited down here, and then they come and they see it. They really are thinking exactly like I was thinking over 13 years ago. Well, it's really not for me. And it's going to be for others, but not for me. But they get there, And they say, hey, this product sounds good. They start seeing a few of the people, said, that guy's not any different from me, or she's not any different from me. Maybe I can do this thing. And say, everybody's into health and nutrition. What the heck? You got to try something. Let's try this. So let's say it's a couple. And they get all excited and they say, I'm going to start off with that senior consultant's merchandising pack. Let me start out right now. I'm going to go on this deal. Okay? They get home and they're all excited and you're talking to them that night, and they get home and the husband and wife is heading home and say, hey, boy, this is really something. We're going to go on. We should not be spending, only $285, but let me tell you, we can get it back. We can get it back. We'll use our vacation money. We're okay. And maybe this thing will work out well. And they're all excited that night and they stay up a couple hours extra talking about it. Next morning, something real interesting happens. They both wake up before the alarm clock goes off. And they're lying there perfectly still, not talking to each other and not moving, looking straight up at the ceiling. And they got this strange feeling inside their stomach. And they don't know if they've got the flu or they're in love again. Right? And you know the feeling. And it's neither one. It's their $285. Right? And they're way down here. He doesn't want to say anything to her because he's afraid if he does, she's going to say, I told you so. She doesn't want to do the same thing because of that, right? The next couple of days, boy, the kids get yelled at a lot and the dog gets kicked. Nothing's going smooth there until finally he comes home from work and he says, honey, it's Tuesday night and John's going to the meeting tonight. Let's go. It's going to be something. And she perks up and they get ready and they're heading down to the meeting and they start talking now. See? They went here, they were up here, down here, now they're up here, right? They're up here. That's where they are. And he says, you know something, honey? I didn't want to say anything about it. I've just been sick. I haven't been myself the last couple of days because I started thinking, what are we doing in this business? We don't know anything about sales. We don't have any, all I am is plumber. I need to be doing this stuff here. And the money we spent, I could buy you new clothes and I could do a lot of things. But I'm telling you, I got a good feeling about this Herbalife thing. And John's excited about it too. He said he thinks he could do something like this. And he knows a couple people who want to do. I said, I think we've got something going. This is really something. She says, I've been experiencing the same thing. And I feel good about Herbalife too. I think this is something. They go down there and that night they get there and they start shaking hands. Hi, my name is John. My name is Barry. And I'm a new senior and this is something. Moving on, going on and on. 5 minutes to 8, John hasn't showed up yet. 2 minutes to 8, they're out looking like this. 7 minutes after 8, they're convinced that John is not coming, and they slip out the back door going home. Woo! Way down here, right? And you know the conversation on the way home? Maybe this business isn't for us after all. We don't have any sales experience, no business. And if it was a different time of year, maybe it'd be better. Maybe we made a mistake. Well, let's try and get our money back anyway. Okay? Things rock along for about a week. And then all of a sudden, he talks to Frank. Frank says he's coming. He's going to meet them at his house next Thursday night. And they're all going over together. And he's really excited about this. Right? So here comes Frank, right? And Frank, they get Frank down the meeting. All three of them go down the meeting together, and they're all excited. And Frank sees it, and he says, this is the best thing I've ever seen in my life. You can't miss with a product line like that. And the people around here, if they're willing to help you the way it all seems, this is wonderful. So listen, you can forget about building an organization. You can retire off of me alone. Got it? Woo! Way up here. They take Frank home and they go out for a drink, right? And here's the conversation. We've been up and we've been down in this business, but I just feel so good about Herbalife. I know it's the best thing that's ever happened to us, and maybe in another 6 months I'll be full-time and the two of us can work together and we can do all the things we ever wanted. We can fix up the family room, we can get the new car, and we can have that, and this is so good. I'm just so excited about Herbalife. Frank backs out. Whoa! It's the wrong time of year, and we haven't had any experience of this before, right? How many experience of it? See your hands, okay? The rest of you, hang on. It's going to get you. Because this is what happens, okay? But let me point out something. Do you think that this is only reserved for new distributors? Do you think old distributors go through this? Yes. You bet your life they do. You think I go through this? Absolutely. The difference is, let me tell you the difference. If I invite somebody and they don't show, do I get disappointed? Yes, but not for 2 or 3 days. 2 or 3 minutes. If I've got someone that I'm counting on joining my business and they don't, am I disappointed? Yes, but not for 2 or 3 weeks. Maybe 20 or 30 minutes. And you just got to start hacking away at the time. You got to go, this is not going to switch for you overnight. You're going to hack away at it. Instead of 2 or 3 days, it's going to be a 2.5 days. And then it's going to be a 1.5 days. You're going to start moving on it. All you've got to do with any of these things, you're not going to go from here to here. You've got to be a little bit better at it today than you were yesterday. You've got to be able to control your attitude just a little bit more today than you did yesterday. You've got to be a little bit more excited today than you were yesterday. You've got to be a little bit more sincere today than you were yesterday. You've got to be a little bit more effective today than you were yesterday. You don't go from here to here. You do it like this, a little bit at a time. Never let a day go by that you stay the same. Because I'm going to tell you something, you're either going up or you're going down. We don't stay the same, and if you're not going up, check the gauge, it's heading down. You have no choice in this matter at all. And the only way I know to control this is with the facts. That's how I keep my attitude up, is with the facts. So you got to get excited and you got to be enthusiastic. But sincere excitement and enthusiasm only comes from the facts. Here's something else you've got to have in your attitude. Deadly serious. You say, hold it. How am I going to be excited, enthusiastic, and deadly serious at the same time? Here's a scale that we all fit on. Up here's deliriously excitement. Down here's deadly serious. Everybody fits in there someplace. Now, if you're the type of personality that's always so enthusiastic about something, no one's going to want to look at your products or your opportunity because nothing can be that good, right? If you're the type of personality that's so deadly serious, nobody's going to want to look at it either because it's too grim, right? You've got to blend in here. Of course you want to come. Someone says, you're excited about this. You don't have to tell them this. Your attitude, you bet your life I'm excited, but I'm serious about it too. This is the finest opportunity I've ever seen. That's got to come across in your attitude. It does. You'll see somebody come in here and they'll go right to the top right now. It's because they're able to handle that. They feel strong about the products. They feel strong about the marketing. They feel strong about themselves. It's not their talents. It really isn't. It's how they feel about it. Okay, does this make sense to you? Deadly serious in your attitude. You bet your life you're deadly serious. You'd be deadly serious about any opportunity that you have. You'd be deadly serious about opportunity. Don't be deadly serious about skating by. Don't be deadly serious about Friday coming and it's a weekend. You be deadly serious about your financial future and your personal future at all times. And don't let anybody do anything that would detract you from that. Period. Especially if they're people close to you. Because people close to you are ones that get you. Sometimes. They get you. Sometimes your relative says, oh, I just support you 100% in this business. Anything you want to do is fine with me. I'm here. Go to it. And then they'll say, hey, why don't you come on over Saturday and help me out? Say, oh, I'm going to a seminar at Bonaventure. Oh, you're going to another meeting? Right? See, that's called arrows of the tongue. Unintentional. It doesn't mean they don't love you. It doesn't mean they don't care. But that's called arrows of the tongue. Okay? It's sharp and it's piercing. And after a while, you've got to understand the facts. That's the only thing that you're going to get by with here. You can't get to the top and be successful without the facts. Okay? Now, we're going to talk about some subjects called employ yourself. We're going to talk about some subjects that I call death of a salesman. We're going to be talking about a subject called problem solving, okay, and mental diseases of attitude that can affect you. Let's talk about what is the death of a salesman. Or we could call this also death of someone in their own business. Or we could call this the death of someone in their own profession. There's certain things that hold people back. And we're going to try and talk about that. I will note this, no matter if you're in the sales profession, or if you're in the acting profession, or if you're a lawyer, or a doctor, or an Indian chief, right? It really doesn't make any difference. There's one thing that here is important here. We're all salesmen. If we're going to be successful in life, we all have to learn to be salesmen. I should rephrase that. We already know how to be salesmen. All of us do. Okay? We don't know it, majority of us. The best salesmen in the world are kids. Have you ever noticed that? You see a little kid like that? A little 5-year-old kid says, Daddy, Daddy, can I have an ice cream? He said, absolutely not. We're going to eat in 2 hours. Oh, Daddy, Daddy, can I have ice cream? He said, absolutely not. I told you, say it one more time, you're going to get it. 15 minutes later, the kid's licking on the ice cream. Right? Kids don't just how to take it so far, right, and get what they want. So kids are the best ones. Next to kids are women. Women are the best salesmen in the world. There's been very few things, ladies, that you've ever wanted from your man that you haven't got unless you've given up on it. Okay? That's really something. The most important thing about sales is remember this. Salesman has an S in the middle. It means plural, more than one time. Right? You can't just sell one time and now you have got the thing figured out and handled. I'll relate this to relationship. You can't make one big sale, men, to the lady of your dreams and expect that it's over. It's got to be every day that it has to take place. And ladies, the same thing goes for you, right? You don't make one big sale for your man and then it's all over, right? It's a continual situation every single day. And you need to understand something about the salesman profession. It's the most honorable profession in the world today. Most honorable profession. And it is the most professional profession in the world today. Everyone says, well, I'll tell you what the backbone to America is. It's the farmer, right? You let the farmer stop producing food for 30 days and very little is going to happen. You say, well, I'll tell you the backbone, it's the legal industry. Let all the lawyers and all the judges shut down for 30 days and nothing much happens. Let the medical profession shut down for 30 days and nothing much happens. Let the salesman stop selling for 30 days and it stops everything. It's the most highly respected profession in the world. It's also the most highly paid profession in the world is salesmen. It's not doctors, it's not lawyers, right? It's salesmen. Make more money than anybody else. And I'm talking about true salesmen. Not someone that you walk down to a department store and they have a little badge that says salesperson. And I'm just using salesman here, and you ladies just have to understand it's easier to say than salesperson, right? You have to go with me on that deal. But just because someone has a tag here that says salesman doesn't mean that they are. It might mean that they're order takers. True professional salesmen are the highest paid individuals in the world. And the highest paid in the sales field is in what industry? Direct sales industry. You make more money than anybody else in the world. So you've come to the right place for opportunity. You come with the right credentials. You know what you need to take advantage of this? Zero. You need desire and willingness. You need burning desire. It takes three things to succeed, and I encourage you to write these down. It takes a burning desire to improve yourself financially. See, I don't care if a person's earning $500 a month or $5,000 a month. They could be a financial failure either way. The key is, are they succeeding in their goals? Are they getting what they want for them and their family, whether it be $500 or $5,000? Isn't that the important thing? Somebody says, oh yeah, I'm making real good money. Question is, compared to what? Right? The only thing you need to be comparing it to is not someone earning less than you. You need to be comparing it to, are you succeeding in your goals for you and your family? And if not, the question has got to be asked, why not? It isn't because you don't have the experience, and it isn't because you don't have the time. It's none of those things. The real issue is just you. So death of a salesman here we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about salesmen, how important it is, and we're going to talk about what can kill it. And all of you need to understand about how important the sales profession is. Sometimes we think bad of salespeople, right? Because you got a lemon, you got stuck with something. But what you need to do is turn that around. You need to think of your most important, any object that you have in your home that you like, or your clothes, or car, stereo, bed, plants, anything that you have, that means a lot to you. I want you to notice something, that you bought that from a salesperson. Understand? And you think well of them. You think of them as someone that's nice. And a good salesperson makes you feel good about it because they continually to sell you on it. And that's not negative. I mean, they're telling you the truth, right? But they're continually making you feel good about it. Here's what a salesman is. A salesman is a mind maker-upper. That's what a salesman is, a mind maker-upper. And because the mind fluctuates, the salesman has to do what? Continue to make it up, right? Remember I said in a relationship, you can't just make one big sell and you got it? Because the mind fluctuates. If you want to know why relationships don't do what they want, because the mind fluctuates. You have to continually make the mind up here. You have to continually to work on it. Okay? Now, I want to talk about death of the salesman. Death of someone being in business for themselves. Death of any type of professional individual. I have to use a story here. Maybe that'll help out. We've all known somebody like this. Maybe the guy at the gas station, right? He keeps the gas station going. He keeps everything, all the customers happy. He keeps everything moving, everything going. And he's the best mechanic. He treats everybody nice. And you say, I don't understand why Bill does not go out there and get in business for himself. He is just so talented. He'd just do wonderful for himself. Made a fortune for his boss. Why doesn't he get in business for himself? Right? We've all seen that. Bill finally gets into business for himself. He lasts 6 months, goes bankrupt, and back working at his own place. Right? He gets back there while he's gone. His boss has just gone. His boss's business has gone down the tubes. Right? He's so glad to get back there. Now he gets back there and he picks his boss's business up, and it takes off like crazy. Right? We've all experienced something like that. Well, what happened? What's the difference here? It isn't because Bill doesn't have the talent. It's that Bill has some things that he was lacking in his character that showed up when he was his own boss. And it was to his advantage when he had a boss, but it was a detriment over here when he didn't have one. And I'm going to go over those with you. Okay? And here's what I want to talk about. Keeping prior habits. And I want to talk a little bit about habits. Okay? We all have habits. Everything we do is a habit. The way we talk is a habit. The way we walk is a habit. The way we relate is a habit. The way we eat is a habit. The way we drive is a habit. See, everything we do is a result of a habit that we have. Our success in life, or failure in life, or mediocrity in life is a result of our habits in life. Not anything else, our habits. So if we want to change that, then we need to go to work on our habits, right? That's the thing that we need to go to work on and zero in on. A bad habit, you hear the thing that a bad habit's hard to break? Right? We've all heard that. Well, let me tell you what else is hard to break. A good habit. A habit is a habit. The fact that it's good or bad happens to be that it's relative to the individual and the situation, right? Bill over here had some habits that was good ways in working for someone else, but when he got into business for himself, he fell right on his face, right? So a habit is a habit. And the only way that you can do anything with a habit, the only way that you can change a habit is you've got to replace it with another habit. That's all. You've got to just change it with another one. You've got to make that the predominant issue here, and then you can alter it. So keeping prior bad habits. And I'm going to talk to you about a couple of them here that will get you in business for yourself. One here is lying to yourself. Lying to yourself. We have a tendency, the most honest people in the world have a tendency to lie to themselves. To lie to themselves. Tell yourself a lie. It's very easy to do when you get in this business and you find yourself going well, and the next thing you do, you find yourself going full-time. And you get out there full-time, you do great here for about 2 months, and then you start going downhill. It takes about 2 months after being full-time for it to start catching up with you. Right? Because I tell you what happens. You have only so much time when you're part-time to make it work. And you've got your momentum going, and it's working for you. You say, okay, my income is up, I feel stable with this thing, and your decision to go full-time is accurate. Right? And then that momentum keeps carrying you for about another month or 2 months. What happens in your business today is not a result of what you do today. It's a result of what you did yesterday. What happens in your business in the month of March has nothing to do with what you do in March. It's what you did in February, right? And then you say, oh, I did all of this and all that. And then all of a sudden, you change a couple things in March, and all your business keeps going, your production keeps climbing, your income goes up, your sales goes up. You said, I'm doing the right thing now because I changed this over here, and look what's happened. It has nothing to do with what you're doing now. It's because of what you did over here. Okay? So when a person gets in this business and they go full-time, their decision is accurate. But then they change a couple things that they're doing. They change it just a little bit. And because their production keeps climbing, they think, this is what I need to do. And then next month, it starts falling off. And then they start doing footwork again. They don't know what to do. There's only one thing you do. It's called back to basics. And write that down. Basics. You got to do
Basics. For those of you that are sports fans in here, you understand this. Let me follow basketball very close at all. I didn't used to follow basketball. Basketball is very exciting, and I had no idea it was at all, and I got into it. And I really like basketball now. But in basketball, you can go along there, and a team can, all of a sudden, the reason I like basketball is so fast. I mean, just going, their points and everything is hitting it. And all of a sudden, you can go along there, and a team can make no points at all. 3, 4 minutes, 5 minutes, and they put no points on the board. Now, if they're scoring a lot of points, they know what to do. They keep doing the same thing, right? But what do you do when you're not scoring a lot of points? Very simple. The basics. You keep doing the basics over and over and over and over again. You stick to the basics. It's called a hot hand in basketball and sports. So all of a sudden you go along there, no points at all. 3, 4, 5 minutes, no points, and all of a sudden someone gets a hot hand and 15 points goes on the board like that. And everybody knows what to do. They capitalize on a hot hand. But what do you do when you don't have a hot hand? Basics. Basics. Keep doing the basics. And there's only a handful of basics here. And I'm going to talk about some of these things here. We're going to come down to it. We're going to give you a couple, and then I'm going to show you how to work it out here. Now, one of them is lying to yourself. Don't lie to yourself. Lie to me. Lie to your sponsor. Lie to your spouse. Lie to your neighbor. But don't lie to you. Tell yourself the truth. Have the ability to see it as it is and call it as it is. You don't have to work a lot in this business. This is the easiest business I've ever seen in my life. Okay, I've done a lot of things been in a lot of businesses and made a lot of money in a lot of businesses. But I'll tell you, I've never done anything like this. This is the easiest thing I've ever done in my life. Maybe I shouldn't be telling you that. But maybe I shouldn't. You know, I'm hesitant, but it is easy. When my sister can start 90 days later have a royalty check of $2,010.88 her third month, that's unheard of. Okay? That is unheard of. So, it's an easy business to do. But don't lie to yourself about what you're doing. Tell yourself the truth. All you need is 8 hours a day. 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, every single day, every single week, for 3 months straight, and you'll never have to worry about your financial future again. When I first went full-time, I was told, all you got to do, Larry, is work half as hard here as you did in construction work, and you'll be wealthy quick. And I said, let me at it.